Hey, what's up, life leaders? You ready to go to the next chapter? You ready to turn page? Next step? Another door is opening in your life? Well, hold on. Not so fast. What are you running to escape from? Whatever you're trying to go away from may be waiting for you just around the corner, just a bit later. So, pause. Hold on a second. We need to ask a few questions here. Take a deep breath. Look back. Where you're trying to go away from. What has just happened? What has just happened? If what you see behind you, you think is a separate thing from what is in front of you, it is because you're just creating it now. Nature is a continuum. Life is a continuum. Things going day, night. Nature doesn't know borders, dates, important celebrations, landmarks, man-made monuments or obstacles. What's behind you? Is this the worst thing that's ever happened? Or the best thing that's ever happened? Whatever you decide to call this, however you try to evaluate it, this is your decision. So what has happened? Now, I don't want to know what's happened. I want to go forward. But as we said, when you're going forward, you may find what was behind you. You may find it again, because for most people, every year is almost the same. Oh, no, I don't want to go through this year ever again. Yes, but hold your horses. Do a little bit of homework now. What does a good year or a bad year mean? It has to do only, absolutely, 100% with your expectations. So, are your expectations wishful thinking? Are your expectations based on scientific data or statistics or communal standards or different myths? The worst thing could be the best thing. The best thing could be the worst thing. In hindsight, after this is finished, after you come out of a situation that for some reason was challenging your expectations again, because unless somebody's holding you like this or like this, which is very rare, everything else that's holding you, it's up here. The change that you have adopted or created or allowed others to put inside you. So before you're going somewhere to escape what happened, make sure you don't take it with you. How much you are invested in outcomes. Because you may be planning things, you may have been planning things for what was going to happen before, but there are other few billions of people planning as well, and maybe their plans go against your plans. So whatever you're planning, whatever you expect, you have to understand that it may not happen. As long as you happen to be intact after what has happened, and you're not risking physically your life or your security or whatever, that has to do with you, your physical or mental health. Everything else, every plan you make is made up of other people's evaluations and expectations, and previous expectations of yourself that were based on other people's expectations and evaluations. Am I confusing myself or am I confusing you now? I don't know. The thing is that our life, our situations are created from this part of the brain, mainly. Not our basic instincts, not the old reptilian brain. This creative part of our brain builds all the scenarios or the horror films or the ideas for the future. It also interprets our past and reinterprets our past. So, whatever happened in your previous chapter, in your previous period of your life, you can name it good or bad, or you can name it a useful lesson for the future, because your life is happening now, and now, and now, and a little bit more in the future. So your action now may involve your next few steps. If you don't go shopping, or if you don't make sure you have some food to eat, you won't have food to eat. If you don't get fuel for heating, then you're going to have a cold house. If you don't put petrol in your car is not going to run. So, what am I saying now? We need a basic plan for our day-to-day, minute-to-minute survival. All our big dreams and expectations are based on made-up data of the past. Our own data or other people's data. So, if there was something in the past that has caused you some kind of discomfort, some kind of dis-ease, unease, friction, turmoil, internal little battles and arguments, or physical pain and discomfort, some kind of loss, you have to stop for a minute and make sure you take some lessons from this that will help you run your life and all things around your life in a bit more smooth way, in a bit more flowing way. So you're able to enjoy whatever comes your way, and you're able to limit the points of friction so that you're available for yourself and you're available for others, and you have resources, extra energy, extra mental clarity, extra time, extra compassion for yourself and for others. Time to improve yourself so that your life becomes even more smooth in a way. Not because we're trying to avoid conflict, confrontation, friction, because you can't avoid this, is part of life. But you have to minimize it by learning from the past and bringing the lessons of the past now. And use them in the future so that you have spare resources, spare time and energy to invest in improving yourself and helping others. That's the idea. So, what have I learned from the past? What have I learned about how I behaved in situations? What about how I've observed my friends or family or people around me behaving? How their behavior has influenced my behavior? How can I avoid conflict in the future or minimize conflict in the future? Because there will be conflict. I guarantee you, you're not going to escape conflict. But how do I minimize it? How do I stay above? How to stay less affected? You know, what about my environment? What changes happened? What was different in the way that I behaved because of changes around me? Learning from others' behavior, from my behavior, and most of all, from my previous reaction to challenging moments where what I had miraculously planned never happened. How did I react? How reasonable was my reaction? What will be my reaction in the future when something very similar will happen? And it will happen. So, question your rules, question your expectations, question your standards, question the way you have reacted in previous challenges. Which answers to these questions will help you in your next step to make things smoother, run in a more efficient way, run your life in a more efficient way, becoming more of a life leader. You may have to watch this again a few times. Take care, stay strong, see you soon, subscribe, join us on this journey of leadership. Take care.